think elective.
Elective?
Yeah.
That's it.
Choose.
Elective contracts between parents?
Yeah.
You didn't get the sentence.
Well, we need to make clear that these contracts are not ones that you have to do, but which you can do.
Yes. So that means respect for parents who are making contracts. Or?
It means respect for people who want to make a different contract than the one we're telling them to make. Voluntary contract. That will do for the name. We've still got the other bit we haven't quite decided on.
I think there's another thing, that's the state at this moment, the judicial system not accepts biparental contracts. And the political meaning is that they should respect them.
Yeah.
So that's why I use the word respect.
Okay, so respecting, I prefer elective to voluntary, what's the bit? It's far more specific. But a voluntary is like, if I want to, if I don't want to, just ignore it.
Elective supposed to do.
Nou ja, dat is meer een mogelijkheid te geven.
Okay, so
it's eclectic.
Elective.
Elective.
That means
election. Choose. Yeah, okay. So
you can make that something else in that. This is English.
Yeah. Eclectic, that's international. But that's another thing. Okay. Eclectic would be a nice word as well.
It would, wouldn't it? Yeah. Eclectic contracts between that would fit.
Yeah, that would fit.
Idiosyncratic contracts between parents.
Enforcing and honoring what governments usually do in contracts, and respect.
Yeah, okay, well I think we can kill that one. Dead now? With that?
It's fine, yeah.
Okay.
These should get finished.
Right.
Get through the points. We have one severe point.
7. Okay, which is the severe point?
10. Yeah, perhaps not. I hope not. Four.
5 plus 4.
So what are we going to do?
Well, does anybody have anything on 7, 8, 9, 10? Does anybody have anything important, really important?
Yes, we have something, but we have to mention we put judicial discretion in there.
Yeah, okay. Will you go through the changes quickly? Would that do? The changes they had with mediation.
No, because I think he's got something important he wants to raise, and then we've got the definitions.
We're here till 5 o'clock.
Well, we can make it until 4:30,
Okay.
and that's the limit. We can say, so we've got 25 minutes.
Yeah, the message.
Yeah? Just for fun.
Just for fun. It's good fun.
Yeah. So, it's we're looking at number
7.
Well, I'm looking at number 7, or we're looking at what you want to talk about, which is very, very important.
About 10. No, well, I hope it's no problem, perhaps. What we said was under 10 that...
Right, el número 10,
yeah,
antiguo.
it's the
Van a
same
hablar
as the
de eso
new.
porque estamos con el tiempo.
¿Y por qué no estamos
El
hablando
número
de
10, ¿verdad?
¿Y el 7?
Vamos a hablar de esto después, porque...
Porque esto a mí me interesaba porque tenemos varias cosas, porque colocar viene A y B,
I suggest we look at what George is interested in
poner un
first.
ser.
Or,
Yeah, we just go on to number 7. Yeah.
okay, let's go to number 7 then. Let's just do it in order.
Yeah, just go
George
on.
has, yeah. 7 is 7. Right, 7 is mediation. Now, before you start, George, we have changed to mediation, judicial discretion, and involvement of professional third parties. So, mediación, discreción judicial, o sea, poder judicial, y involucración de terceras partes profesionales, así se llama ahora. ¿Ok?
¿Como título?
Sí,
¿Cómo?
como título.
A ver.
Mediación, discreción judicial y involucración de las terceras partes profesionales. C'est todo el conjunto judicial, medial, etc. Tu comprends ça? On est au numéro 7, médiation, discrétion judiciaire et involucration des tiers. Bon, c'est la partie que doivent prendre les tiers parties, ce dont ils doivent se occuper là-dedans. Right. The first sentence is now, mediated cooperation through professional third parties may be preferable where children's welfare requires it. La coopération médiatrice de la part des tierces parties professionnelles peut être préférable que le bien-être de l'enfant le nécessite. La résidence ne devrait pas dépendre de l'accessoire des professionnels de si ou non les parents sont coopératifs. Right. La cooperación mediada entre las terceras partes profesionales podría ser preferable si el bienestar de los niños necesita. La residencia no debería depender de la asesoría de los profesionales o de la cooperación parental o de la no cooperación parental. O sea, que cooperen o no importa. La residencia no depende de eso.
This sentence is gone out about that parents should be
Yes.
not mean. It's out now.
Yes.
Oh, I absolutely disagree.
It's been changed to residents should not be dependent on the assessment by professionals of parental cooperation or non-cooperation. And the reason we have changed it is because cooperation or non-cooperation covers that.
Yeah, okay.
¿Cuántas letras tiene el número 7? ¿A solamente o no tiene ninguna?
A, B, C, D.
¿Cuál leíste recién? ¿La A?
No, hemos cambiado la A, pero hemos agregado otras. Right. Ahora voy a explicarte si puedo, pero por seguido con los otros también. O sea, voy por partes.
Mira, porque yo quiero agregar una letra ahí.
Ok, anda pues, diga.
Como una letra, otra letra, ahí vemos si acaso corresponde a la B, la C o es la última.
Es por eso que te digo, voy por lo que he hecho o tú presentas primero. Tal vez ya está incluido.
Mira, déjame decirle entonces. Es que los centros de mediación deben ser antes del conflicto, durante y después del conflicto, del divorcio.
All right, yeah.
¿Ya? Y esta mediación, estos centros de mediación son, o deben ser, mejor dicho, deben ser independientes de los tribunales.
Okay, yes.
¿Ya?
God.
Y también estos centros de mediación siempre deben ser como un servicio público optativo. no como una obligación.
Dios mío, sí, tienes razón.
¿Ya? Déjame terminar. Y el tribunal favorecerá la adopción de acuerdos y la intervención de la mediación.
Okay, vamos por partes, yo traduzco. He's got some very solid things to add, and if you remember, Antonio, when I was translating, was saying, we want this in it. And we sort of thought that we could put it in about mediation. So I'm going to translate what he's just suggested we put in. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Before I start, I just get this cursor which I can barely see. There's the bastard. Oh, hold on, sorry. God, it's getting long. Okay.
¿Capito?
Yeah.
Los centros de mediación tienen 3 tiempos para actuar.
The mediation centres have 3 times to act.
Antes del posible divorcio o separación,
Before the separation or the divorce, during the separation or divorce, and after the separation or
durante
divorce.
sesión.
Can you write this down?
Just scribbling down here.
Before, during, and after divorce. And then read it out to me if we decide to include it.
Okay. Let's go find this close. Okay, go on.
Estos centros de mediación deben ser independientes de los tribunales,
They must be independent, these mediation centres, from the courts.
siempre como un servicio público optativo
They must be independent.
y optativo.
What's wrong? They must be independent from the courts. Repeating my words.
Independiente de los tribunales, siempre como un servicio público
Always as a public service.
optativo.
And optional.
Public service means it's not a commercial how do you say, company.
Provided by the state.
Provided by the state.
Funded by the state.
Proveído por el Estado.
¿Cómo?
Proveído por el Estado. Dado
Yes,
por el Estado.
sí.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sí. O sea, deben ser públicos y gratuitos, porque son proveídos.
And free.
Free public service.
Los tribunales
Pero
favorecerán
optativo en el sentido de tú puedes decidir o no de hacer parte de, o sea, de ir hacia ellos. No estás obligado.
Claro, no estoy obligado. Eso significa
Continúa.
optativo,
Ya.
voluntario.
Ya, claro.
El tribunal favorecerá la adopción de acuerdos y la intervención de la mediación.
Yeah, the courts favour agreements and mediatic intervention of mediators.
Esa es como una política de los tribunales.
Yeah.
To favor
Deben
mediation.
favorecer los acuerdos y la intervención de los centros de mediación. ¿Puedes repetir?
¿Sigue?
No, que los tribunales deben favorecer la adopción de acuerdos y la intervención de los centros de mediación
Ya,
como
ya.
política
Ya,
de los tribunales.
ya
de los
traducí
jueces.
esto.
¿Lo tienen?
Sí. You've already got that, haven't you?
Court should favour an agreement on mediation and intervention.
Yeah.
But why do we need that in it?
Well, we'll get it down first.
Okay.
Then I must say if then.
Eso es todo.
That's it.
That's it.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not too long.
It's very short.
No. Then if that then I must say if then, es muss sichergestellt sein, dass beide sexy vertreten sind.
Vertreten muss er nicht.
Beide sexy.
Ja, dass also sowohl von weiblicher als auch von männlicher Seite die Mediation betrieben wird.
Ach so.
Und nicht von einem Sexus. Denn genau daran scheitert häufig die Mediation.
Yeah, you
Also
understand
Just
his meaning.
translate it, yes.
His meaning is that mediation should take place by intervention of two sexes, two mediators at least.
I think that's too specific.
I would add homosexual as well, and
Yes,
it's
Too specific. This is a general document.
Ja, nur dann haben wir wieder die Scheiße, dass die Mediatorenzentren feministisch besetzt werden und dann haben wir die gleiche Kacke wieder.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, that's the problem. That's exactly what I say. Everything we add to this head makes more difficulties.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah. What I'd like to, this is my proposal.
Yeah.
In the first 3 sections of this section, we already have related observations. We can integrate, I can copy this down now, and then we can integrate it when you send it to me by email into the former sections, so it doesn't become too long. But I was thinking that it does almost make another 2 sections necessary. But I would actually go against you in that it does seem to me important to underline the need for mediation because Marianne and Antonia made a strong case for mediation being very effective and needing to be supported. You could argue that we shouldn't include section 2 about contracts, that you're going to include section with as much validity as arguing that we shouldn't include a section on mediation.
Oh, that's not what I said. What we said is that you should keep it as short as it is, because that is the way we could get agreement. Yeah.
Yeah. See,
We do have a large amount of agreement on mediation.
No, I'm afraid not.
do we not agree that it should be supported?
Yeah, idealistic, but every point you see, what's added now is, for instance, his point that judges should give
Favor mediation agreements.
Use that somehow, and then he reacts, and I understand that yeah, well, not too much from that because mediation is always a woman's affair. Women's help, women are strong, and okay, so we can go on like that, or say we keep it short.
Yeah, the point is, I mean, speaking personally, I agree with you. I'd like to throw all the mediators into the bottom of a large pit, but that's me personally.
Yeah, okay, I don't say scrap all, but don't add things to it.
The point is, so I can understand your point of view, but partly because you've possibly had more experience with mediation in Holland and Germany, but knowing what other people think in France and Spain and in England and in Ireland, if we do not include it, then we actually do ourselves more damage than if we do include it on your rationale. And these sentences are actually very precise and good sentences.
Which are in it now, yeah.
No, the ones that George has given us clearly say that it is optional.
Yeah.
They clearly
that's
say
okay.
that it is
Free public service.
a free public
That's
service.
okay for everyone.
Independent.
They
from
clearly
courts.
say it's independent from
Okay.
the courts.
Yeah.
Independent from sexes also.
Yeah.
Okay,
Maybe-
you've had this problem. So now we're listening to you. You've had this problem. You've mentioned it, and you've mentioned it. Independent from sex. So maybe we need to have
Optional and gender
neutral
neutral.
Okay.
and gender neutral. And
Okay.
so, I mean, that gives a balance between viewpoints. And because it's so well written, I do say it, it's well written. Está bien escrito. I think it does cover a lot of your worries.
It's quite concise. It is well. You get a lot.
You do
Well,
hate
the problem was the last sentence he added.
about favouring.
Yeah.
Mediation agreements.
Why it should be favored by the judges. It's okay that we say, okay, it's more ideal, but why to
Right, can you read
why
that
that
sentence?
constrictions?
Courts should favour mediation agreements and mediation intervention.
So what's that favoring? What
Right,
are
I'm
they
not too
doing
sure.
then?
I'm not
I
too
just-
sure if favour is the right word there. You know.
I don't think, I also think it's almost worth getting rid of that because I can see your point on that.
Okay.
No, I'd say the courts should respect mediation agreements.
Okay, that's
a
another
different. Would
That's
that be a better word?
Okay. Yeah, that's better. Yeah.
Podemos cambiar, en lugar de decir favorecer, respetar los acuerdos de mediación. Ellos tienen mucha
That's much
experiencia en
better.
mediación. Si se pone la palabra favorecer, if you put favor, eso casi viene a ser una obligación de ir hacia la mediación en primer lugar. Pero es optativo.
Ese
There's a
text,
conflict between optional and favouring.
Yeah.
So en lugar de decir optativo y después favorecer, decimos optativo y después respetar.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
vamos. Yeah,
Courts should
that's it.
respect. Well,
Now,
invite the mediation.
Now, if you could just read that out, I will jot that down and we'll have that.
Okay.
What time is it?
10 minutes before half.
Okay. Now they talk here about mediation centres. I'm not too sure if mediation centres was.
Just call it mediation.
Mediation.
Yeah.
What it is mediation has 3 times to act.
Free. Okay, well, that's terrible.
It is, English-wise, it's not.
Come on then, think on your feet.
There are 3
Three-
occasions where
Yeah.
mediation should
Happen
be available
should be available
before, during, and after divorce.
before
During and after divorce,
separation.
or divorce or stroke separation. Yeah.
Yeah.
Full stop. Mediation must be independent from the courts.
Mediation must.
There. Yeah.
Yeah.
It must always be a free public service.
I think practical, more practical.
Optional and gender neutral.
Yeah.
Full stop. Courts should respect mediation agreements. I don't know I want to go on and mediation. Yes, but they should respect mediation interventions.
Okay, should respect.
Mediation agreements and mediation interventions.
Right.
That's it.
House.
That's quite good.
Right, and we also have, and this was a point of yours, I think, justice should not only be done but be seen, it was your point, but it was your point as well. Justice should not only be done, but be seen to be done. In-camera proceedings should be avoided wherever possible. Where it is deemed necessary or desirable to protect the identities of the parties, records of the proceedings and justification for the decision should be made publicly available anonymously.
Yeah, we say protect the
In
identity.
order to achieve this, proper stenographed records of all proceedings must be kept.
Yeah.
That's often a problem.
It's a problem in Ireland, I know, they don't keep proper records of the proceedings.
Yes.
It's a problem
That's,
everywhere.
that's terrible.
Right, so that hemos escrito aquí que la justicia no tiene solamente que estar hecho, sino hecho visiblemente. Los tribunales secretos tendrían que estar evitados donde posible. Donde es realmente necesitado o deseado de proteger la identidad de los partidos, buenos recuerdos de lo que pasa en el tribunal y la justificación para la decisión deberían estar disponibles al público, o sea, anónimo. Para poder tener esta posibilidad, recuerdos escritos tendrían que estar mantenidos, ¿ya? Y eso hemos agregado por problemas que tenemos por tribunales secretos donde pasan muchas cosas.
Confidencial.
Stop.
Ja.
Yo opino que deben ser públicos.
Die Records in dreifacher Ausfertigung für jede Partei.
Ja, natürlich.
Ja, nicht natürlich. Muss sein, weil sonst macht sie der Mediator und der macht was er will damit.
Ja, die sagen publik,
Het
also
publiek is even meer als
in,
nur
die ganzen Leute können das sehen.
Oder das, ja, ist klar. Gut.
Okay?
Ja, okay.
Right. Oh dear. Right. Respect.
So, 4 minutes for points, 8, 9 and 10. You should finish it, I think.
Does anybody got anything important to say on the corner thing?
I just want to say something else I think is important. The way how you introduce things. But with regard to a child having a right to know its parent and vice versa, and I mentioned to you two anyway before, that if DNA testing was compulsory, with the safeguard of just throwing the evidence of the information afterwards, how else can you guarantee a child's right to know its parent without a test to
DNA
establish
test, yes.
a correct parent? Also, I think this would have far-ranging
So it'd be good to have it in.
social, the way people act socially.
So I just asked whether there's any doubt about a child's
No,
no?
no,
You said-
not
you said
necessarily
every
that.
single case that you
Yeah. As part of a test, like any other test, to guarantee the
The
child's
right of the test must be in.
so every child should
Well,
have
that's
the
my
DNA.
No, he
suggestion.
has the obligation, eh? You say
Yeah.
obligation.
Yeah, to protect the child's right to know that the
That's
father
right.
is the correct father, to protect him for medical records so that he should know his history, his grandparents.
Anything is
Okay, on demand by either
No,
by
it
either.
sounds in as a
No.
matter of routine. When a child is born,
to-
it's DNA test. Now, this could lead to an awful lot more marriage breakdowns.
Well, starting from tomorrow or next year. But it's why, I mean, that's the only way to guarantee.
Ça c'est
The truth.
contre l'accouchement sous X, etc.
Ouais, c'est un problème.
Oui, mais on
contradiction.
anticipe là.
Mm.
On dit qu'on détruit les tests après les avoir faits, mais pour vérifier, on les fait pour vérifier, et puis on les détruit. Comme ça, on n'a pas de problème avec.
I think about that as you'd find there'd be a lot of opposition to that type of a proposal from people who are into civil liberties.
But what we discussed was that we would have an automatic mechanism for destroying these records immediately
Yeah.
upon.
Once you do the DNA test, how do you destroy the records? I mean, once you do the DNA
Splash.
so what's the point in doing it if you take this DNA test and then destroy
No,
it?
just to make a conclusion about
Yeah.
the biological relationship.
Yeah, but once you make
The
that,
conclusion stays.
the conclusion is who knows it.
Also,
The conclusion is it's not destroyed.
The conclusion is not destroyed.
No.
Okay.
Only the material, the
Only the
test,
material.
the
see,
DNA test.
in Ireland we're having a problem where young mothers are having children and they don't tell the hospital who the father
Yeah,
is.
it's a lot. It's in every country.
It's in every country now.
And that's a
Perhaps I
problem.
have some children. I don't know.
Maybe
Yeah,
you
maybe.
should be caring for your children.
Yeah.
On 20 or 100.
Yeah,
maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe
The
I am bringing up
Catholics-
your child, huh?
The Catholics, the Catholics know this problem.
Catholics.
Yeah.
Yes, from Jesus.
Yeah.
All right.
No,
yeah,
yes,
that's
I
right.
know what you mean.
That's
Yeah,
right.
what's
That would
that?
be,
In
Jesus
Matthew
Christ.
conception is talking about.
that would be a very interesting test.
Yeah.
For the DNA test.
Lucky he didn't have any children, eh? How convenient. They could see ahead.
It's very comforting for women to always know that they are the correct parent
Oh yeah.
of the child.
Man can
For a
never-
man, it's assumption. And as we said here, something like 20% of children don't have the correct father.
Alright, but let's try and formulate it. Let's see if we can have a proper formula.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
right. We can't make long discussion here, but I see no one is
We had a
saying
good-
it's not
we had
okay.
a good
So
discussion.
we try to make it a
Wording.
definition. Yeah.
O sea, eso es sobre la genética.
I think
Si
it's
es
very important.
genéticamente
Parenthood.
padre, verificar con
Correct or
tests
true
de
parenthood should be
genética para ver
established
si
at
es
birth
padre.
through a means of
Estoy de acuerdo
DNA
que al
test.
momento al nacer.
Yeah.
Just leave it at that. Isn't that it, son?
Yes.
What's that? It sounds
Yeah.
really short.
It is
Correct,
nice.
correct parenthood or true parenthood should be established at birth through a means of DNA testing.
Biological parent.
Biological parent.
Porque
Ah, oui.
ahí estamos, traduce, ahí estamos,
We should discuss tomorrow. That's what we said. That's the main point. Yeah. So in general,
Yeah.
we have something. Okay, that's interesting. It's very important. It's in the base of the
Yes,
thing.
yeah.
It's
Yeah,
on the
that's-
base
that's
of
right.
equal rights for fathers
biology,
and mothers.
yes.
So we include it. So what do we call it?
But we go on tomorrow about this point. We try to work
We
it
will
No,
be
out.
here
I'll
tomorrow.
write it down
In-
now anyway.
We
Yeah,
won't be
okay,
here tomorrow.
So we don't forget.
biological test, DNA test for
mire,
We won't be here tomorrow, that's all.
yeah.
quiero decir una frase,
I'm just waiting for you to give me something to write down now.
una frase.
John, we won't be here tomorrow.
El hecho
to
de hacer
discuss
el
this.
test de ADN
No, I
cuando
didn't
nazca
want-
el niño es que estamos reafirmando nuestros derechos naturales.
Okay,
Porque
so
la madre tiene un
But
derecho
that's-
natural,
the-
el padre
you're just saying
también tiene un
that
derecho
the
natural.
test can be regarded as a way of affirming your parenthood at the moment of birth.
Yeah. That's the purpose.
But that's not what he said. So I would say not to discuss it now because we have another point and we are over
Yeah,
time.
okay, I'm waiting for something to write down, I tell you. I'm
You just
sitting
DNA
here
test,
trying
fill
to-
it in tomorrow.
What would be the sentence I gave?
Give it to me again.
Parenthood.
Biological parenthood.
Biological parenthood should be established at birth by means of DNA testing.
Okay,
That's it.
okay. And then we'll discuss it tomorrow again, and we won't be here, which will be a problem.
Well,
Anyway,
okay, well,
okay. See, we're on the interest of the child now, aren't we? What was the other things we wanted to see? Are we? Or are we on 8?
8.
Alright. I don't see anything in 8 we disagree with. I've talked to everybody.
Which
Okay. That's number 8.
Old 8.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
What we've now got is old 8. We've only got left
10. And
the one about geographical stuff.
finances.
We've just got the geographical stuff left in 8 now.
Yeah.
So, en el número 8, antiguo, dans le numéro 8, qui parle du respect pour la liberté individuelle d'action de chaque parent, tu vois, il ne reste là-dedans que la partie, je crois que c'est la partie D, où on parle de déplacement. No queda más que la parte D, que habla de la dislocación geográfica, ¿no es cierto? todas las otras partes han estado sacadas y puestas en otros puntos. ¿Ya?
Oui.
¿Ya?
No, ya.
No, ya.
No, ya. Repite de nuevo.
En
Es
el
que
punto...
lo que yo no sé es si acaso lo que yo tengo aquí.
Este
No,
yo
si
no
sé
lo
que el punto 8. Lo que yo no sé si lo que tenía escrito aquí en el,
Ahí,
en el
esto.
PC.
Aquí, D.
Ya. No, Juan, no es lo mismo que tenía escrito ahí.
No, alguien lo ha traducido completamente diferente. Estamos hablando de la dislocación geográfica.
La-
El padre que vive lejos.
ya.
Hemos hablado ayer, anoche. The only thing I can say about it's only got geographical dislocation in it. I am not happy with the way it is written, but I think we do not have the time to rewrite it now. So I'd like to pass on to number 9, which is the interest of the child.
We must wait for the reflections.
For the,
Reflections from
yeah.
Yeah.
So we move on to number 9. 9. Los intereses del niño, the interest of the child, les intérêts de l'enfant.
There's no discussion about that. No?
Let's see what we've got new. No, we've done it, haven't we?
I don't think so. What we haven't done is finances. That was the original 2.
Oh, good lord. Well, strike a light. Well done.
And 10. So 2 and 10 are still
Yeah,
to be
okay.
done.
Go for it.
But when we do get into definitions, can we define what the best interest of the child is?
We've done it in, I think we've done it in number 1. We've actually defined the best interest of the child as what the parents think they are.